My people, my people. It's Uncle Dell joining you here on the real Spiel. Alexa, next song. I don't want them to suspend me because that boy's music is patented.
I don't care what I accomplish in my life.
So we're going to have a great time tonight. YouTube, how are you? I'm here, baby. I'm here to talk. I'm here to talk to the people. I'm here to talk to the people. I'm here to talk to the people. Some of y'all need the Lord tonight, but you need this information more. Alexa, next song. And we're going to have a big conversation tonight as I walk through. That's right. What's up? Sherry, good to see you. Come on. When I walk through. Hey. You guys ready for tonight? Share it with somebody. Alexa, stop music. We're coming in tonight strong to have a big conversation about poor people problems. We're going to discuss it tonight. You know, I'm always going to hit something about a relationship. But tonight we got some bigger fish to fry. We're going to talk about these poor people problems. Because a lot of us got poor people problems. And so we're going to deal with these poor people problems tonight as I share. What's up, Luke? What's going on, brother? We talking about poor people problems tonight, Luke. Poor people problems. Lady calls. How you doing? Poor people problems. We're here to talk about it. Alexa, resume music. Because I'm about to walk. When I walk through. Alexa, stop music. Alexa, stop music. We don't want them lyrics for you. Listen, man, let's have that conversation tonight. I'm in my African kufi. How you doing, Lady Cost, my love? Good to see you tonight, darling. Good to see you tonight. All the way from Florida, a.k.a. Puerto Rico. Okay. Well, we're about to have that conversation. So I'm going to teach you some stuff tonight. Hopefully some of you can pick it up. Hopefully some of you understand it. We're going from an advanced level, breaking it down, starting right from the top. Listen, one of the number one reasons that I'm not a multi-millionaire many times over is because I have made some serious mistakes along the lines in the area of money. And that's what I want to relate to you. Although I have a finance degree, I have a background in the thing, you know, I've done the thing. I can talk about all my credentials. I got a lot of them. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do you like that tonight. I'm going to talk to you from a real perspective, from a real down-to-earth perspective, and start from here. One of the biggest reasons that I'm not a multi-millionaire many times over is because I've picked the wrong type of relationships. And so let me start there before I get into the real money conversations, is that your relationship, and you guys know, you're seeing these superstar athletes and actors and industry, big wigs, Bezos and Trump and Dr. Dre and Gates. When they go through a wreck with their marriage, what happens? The money goes out the window. It's a money fight. Okay, so the number one thing that I'll start with, and I'll come back around to it, but the number one thing in respect to money is making sure you pick the right person to build your life with, because they're attacks. And if you're a man of wealth, or even if you're a woman of wealth, people who marry the wrong people will always have their wealth cut in half, cut in, 2/3, whatever. So let's start there. But poor people problem starts with some of you are picking the wrong individuals to link with. Guys who are having children with the wrong people, women who are having relationships with the wrong dudes. That's where it starts. That's a hard one. That's not what I'm talking about tonight. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring that up. That's one of the biggest issues to the brokenness in the Black community. Biggest issues to anybody's personal wealth is that you are connected to the wrong female or you're connected to the wrong man. I'm talking about from a male perspective. Financially, it's best for brothers to stay single till they're 40 years old, because the amount of wrecks you can take along the lines, guys like me, I got married at 19 years old, crazy. Married at 19, divorced at 29, wrecked. Had a thriving career, wrecked. Paying child support for 20 some odd years, alimony, etc., wrecked. So That took I'm telling you right now, I've paid $1 million in child support. I'm letting you know I have coughed up that much money in child support. Ricky, what's up, baby? Good to see you, man. So I'm gonna move on to real things, but I'm gonna bring that back at the end. The relationship piece in respect to taxing you as an individual, and especially this generation that doesn't even know how to keep relationships. Some of y'all need to not even think about that if you're really on your grind. Okay. But let's get into the first sphere of wealth. A man once said to me, "You're not rich until you own your house." And that's a very strong saying. You're not rich until you own your house. These guys, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, author, he's a dummy. And I'm gonna tell you he's a dummy. And I'll tell you too, I gotta preface this. Some of you are thinking, what's this guy know about money? Why am I gonna sit here and talk to him? And you won't even give me 10 minutes? You're stupid. Because you don't have any idea the amount of information that a person could have that could help you. Trust me, I'm going to touch on stuff that people have never even talked to you about, right? I'm going to touch stuff that people have you never heard of. I guarantee it. I'm going to touch something. So give me a chance. Don't be a dummy. Information is free. I'm not even charging you for it, right? Again, I've got multiple degrees. I've worked in the finance industry for years. For years, I could write books on it. Somebody came up to me today and said, "Man, your life is so crazy. You should have written some books." I go, I've written two. So I'm just take the information, run with it. Here we go. Real estate. The number one area of real estate number one thing, I want to put real estate in two categories. I want to put it in zone and method. Zone and method, right? Where do I do it and how do I do it? Zone and method. One of the quickest and fastest ways to grow your own personal wealth is in the area of real estate. I'm going to talk about a few different things and move on because I'm only here for an hour. The number one area, of course, that most people get into is acquisition, right? Home acquisition or condo acquisition. Let's talk about that. And I'm going to talk about it specifically from the area of condo in this particular segment. And then I'm going to talk about houses afterward. So condos. Had a conversation with a very intelligent woman, and she is an owner of real estate. And she bought condos downtown. I think she said she bought some condos with her mother. She's a lawyer, so she's affluent. She has the capacity to buy. She's smart. She's educated. And in the conversation, I realized that she was basically renting her apartment, her condo, the condo that she was using as an income property, and she was in the red. That essentially means she was renting it at a deficit where she was having to top up for what was taking place in respect to what she was charging the tenant. Her mindset was, well, you don't know what's respect, brother. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'd love you to come on this too if you want to have a conversation. But we're talking about how to build wealth real quick, right? And I know you got some ideas. I got a bunch of them here. So she was talking about, you must not know anything about real estate because you don't realize in Toronto, it's not possible for you to rent a place and to be in the black. I'm like, little girl, I was buying real estate when you were still poo-pooing in your Pampers. Okay, don't talk to me about I don't know nothing about real estate. I said, I know the problem that you did already. And this is one of the ways to buy condos. And I've done this already. So when you buy a condo, if you're trying to buy a condo for maximum ROI or return on your investment, the worst way to buy a condo is to buy a condo in the retail market, right? Because when you're buying a condo in the retail market, you're dealing with the average supply and demand. So condo comes up in its first phase, it hasn't been built yet, and you run out there and you say, yo, I'm going to buy this condo downtown, harborfront, wherever you want it. You're going to buy this condo and it's in the retail market. And that's really the worst way to buy a condo if your intention is to buy an income property because you're buying it retail, right? Anybody knows retail, wholesale, those are two different things. How do you buy wholesale? This is the question. And so there are some people in the city right now who are essentially developers who you want to get in with and you want to buy property with a developer. You want to buy with the developer at the developer level, right? And I can give you a couple of names of guys who actually are doing this and guys who actually are interested in getting in touch with you to do this. One brother is by the name of Isaac Olafi. He has a company called Dream Realty. And Isaac's been doing this for years. As a young guy, we didn't really trust him at first because we're like, what's this young black man know about being a developer? And I said that to him the other day. I saw him and I said, man, when we first met, I was like, what does this guy really know about it? And he's been in the game for years. He's moving on to bigger things now. I believe they're doing a hotel. And he told me, he says, he pointed me to some apartments. He says, man, we've got some units in here. and I was in contact with this big, person in Toronto, and I told them, listen, if you give me some money, I will get you like 10 units here. And at the time, the units were $50,000. When the property was in development, a condo unit, this is Queen Street and Dufferin. The condo units at the development level for people running in to invest with the developer, right? Because the developer's in his raise phase. When he's in his raise, when he's trying to raise money, he's going to offer you two specific things, if not more. He's going to offer you a rate of return on your money that's larger than you can get in normal places. So he's going to say, I'm going to offer you 10, 15, 12, even 20% of a rate of return if you give me money because I'm in the raise phase. He's going to offer you that. My opinion, don't take that deal. Don't take that deal because you put a lot of pressure on him. And essentially that could very, very quickly turn into a Ponzi scheme for him because he's taking money from Peter to pay Paul, right? He's chasing money. Money is burning up fast. The rate of return is burning up fast. So don't take that deal. The best deal is to say, no, I don't want you to have to now find 18% per year to give me for my money. I want you to give me the condo at a ridiculously slashed price, right? So in the case of this particular place, I think the condos probably came on the market for somewhere around 300,000 to 400,000. At the developer level, people could have picked it up at 50K. So getting down with the developer is the best way to do that in the city of Toronto and in other cities too. But there's some things you got to think about, okay? First and foremost, you're not protected by normal insurance scenarios. So that guy essentially could lose all your money and you're done, right? Your money is really not guaranteed. Secondly, make sure you know where that dude sleeps. Make sure you know where he lives. Do some background on him. Make sure he's done projects before that are successful. And I tell you right now, real estate is the one area when a brother burns down some other development that he was doing, it doesn't stop him from doing another one. Because guess what? These guys can still make money and basically not build anything because they're getting paid in the meantime. So they can be a developer. They can take a bunch of people's money. No condos go up and they can still walk away millionaires. And the whole development is burnt down. Like the whole development doesn't happen. It flops. It gets taken over by a trustee, right? And they now have to deal with it because the whole thing goes bankrupt. So you have to be very careful at this level because you're playing at the development level. You're not an individual who's walking in when the condo is reached a certain phase at the retail level. You're playing at the development level. And so you got to be careful, right? That's the condo game. The condo game, for people who can play it, you can take the time to say, let me go find a developer. Let me develop a relationship with this dude. Let me find out other people who have invested. Let me make sure they're not his family. Let me make sure they're not part of his Ponzi crew, because there's a few guys, I can name them, with lawyers in Toronto who anyhow you hear their name, run. You hear their name, message me back. Anyhow you hear somebody's dude's name, run, because these dudes are crooks. They're criminals. They've stolen a lot of money from people in Toronto with the same kind of mentality. They target the Black community. They target marginalized community. They target racialized communities because they feel, well, I'm Black and you're Black, and let's make this money. They give you the spiel, and they're crooks. They don't know what they're doing, and sometimes they do. They're stealing. They know they're stealing, but if they're trying to even do it legitimate, they don't even know what they're doing. Be careful on that level. Moving over to houses. Where to buy a house, how to buy a house, what's the best way to buy a house. And this is why I talked about zone and method. All right, so that was a little bit of method. I'm going to get back to some method things in a minute. Zone, if you're buying a house, right, not a condo, but you're buying a home, a house, you have to be very now, okay, you're buying a house, and I'm not talking about people who are buying a home to live in it, because you live in Toronto, you got to buy a house in Toronto. You live in London, you got to buy a house in London. I'm talking about people who are buying for the purposes of investment, right? People or groups. We're gonna figure out in a minute, right? So houses. the real estate market, you got to think of it as a stock market. You can't think of it in a localized scenario where you live in a city and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy real estate in the city. Why? Why would you do that? Let me explain something to you. So you want to buy stock in a particular company, right? And you're going to evaluate that company and figure out, what is the proper share price to come in at this company? What's the true value of the company? You're going to look at their last few years. You're going to look at what the stock has done that year. You're going to look at their retained earnings. You're going to look at who's the manager. All these kind of things you're going to look at. Who's the directors who are directing the corporation. All these things you're going to look at. Who is the CEO? Who is the CFO? You're going to do some detailed research, especially if you have a sizable amount of money. Why wouldn't you do that with a house and with real estate in a scenario where you're paying, if you're in Toronto, you're paying $1 million for a house in Toronto. If I got $1 million, right? And you say, yo, I got $1 million. I'm about to go invest it over here with this hedge fund manager. I'm about to go invest it with this financial advisor. I'm about to go put it into this stock. How much research are you going to do for your $1 million? How much money, how much time are you going to take to do that? Why wouldn't you do that with a house? So what I'm trying to tell you today, for example, if you want to buy $1 million house today, you want to buy $1 million house, first of all, don't pay $1 million for it. And second of all, don't buy it in Toronto. Some of the best areas to buy houses right now in North America right now is Texas. You start looking, go online. Don't believe me. You go online in Houston, Texas, and you start looking at the price of real estate and start looking at the quality of real estate that you're going to be picking up for the same money that you're potentially buying houses for in these major metropolis areas. You got New York, you got Chicago, you got Toronto, you got LA, right? You got these big markets where you're paying $1 million for something that's not very exciting, right? And so you've got areas like Houston, Texas, that you can literally go buy a house in Houston, Texas, $200,000 American, yes, but it's still not $1 million Canadian, right? And you can and this is another thing too. There's a lot of things people don't know. Let's say I don't have legal status in America. The minute I buy real estate in America, my potential for legal status now accelerates. I potentially can get a green card because I own property there, right? I can get legal status because I own property in that particular area. Now, this is the conversation I want to have, though. How am I going to do that, bro? I'm in Toronto. How am I going to buy land in Texas, right? Let's start with some pieces. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But there's a way to do that, right? Secondly, before I get off of Texas, why Texas is dope? Because Florida is already topped out. That's a more expensive market. But when you look at the longitude and latitude, you got Texas over here, you got Florida, Houston over here, you got Florida over here. When you draw that line, you see that's the same type of climate. You've got the same type of climate in Houston than you do in Florida. Also, what do you have? You have a market of an urban metropolis that is growing, that is emerging. Now, the issues and the problems that you have down in Florida and Texas and these areas, you got hurricanes. So you definitely have to have flooding insurance, hurricane insurance, because those are the real issues that are happening down there. But you have a market where, watch this, if you're buying a house, a $200,000 house with a minimal down payment, you essentially can buy a house every year if you're making a sizable amount of money, or if you're doing what I'm going to hit you with next after we talk about method one more time. So you got condo buying. Where did I start? Don't get into bad relationships. Start building your life with bad relationships. That's a financial tax, number one. Number two, first start off in real estate, zone method. Find out where you're going to buy, what you're going to buy. You're going to buy a condo, you're going to buy a house. Are you going to buy a condo from the retail market? You're going to go buy a condo with the developer, right? Method, right? And zone also. Are you going to buy a condo in your city, or are you going to find a location in North America that's emerging, that's growing, that has cheaper real estate that you're going to drop in there? Method. Another aspect of method is teaming up. having groups of people getting together. Now, this is a hard one for certain communities. Certain communities do this well. Indians, Chinese. Certain communities do this badly. Black people. Yeah. So teaming up, saying, listen, together, we could potentially buy ourselves as a group a house a year. There's 5 of us. Why don't we get together, put our money together, and buy a house a year? We're going to go on vacation, right? Yeah, we're going to go on vacation. So why don't we buy a house in an area where we're going to go on vacation? You go in March, I'm going to go in February. We own this property, and let's do that every year. And in the meantime, we can Airbnb it. We can hire a leasing agent to rent it out for us, and then we could use it as a property for ourselves to visit. All right. Second thing in the areas of teaming up, you can now have you got some people with bad credit, right? With money, and you got some people who have good credit and no money. So those people come together as a group, and now you're able to utilize a little bit of down payment, a little bit of security. You potentially, as a group, could go to a bank and secure high levels of lines of credit. I like the one hinges on your sharing. Yes, high levels. Good to see you, Jay. High levels of lines of credit. You got 5 or 6 people. They got decent credit. They got decent net worth. They might all have property, right? You say, listen, why don't we get together and get $1 million in a line of credit? You got a house. I got a house. You got a house. You don't have a house, but you got some money. You got good credit. 5 of us get together and we get $1 million. That's a group of joint amount of money, a line of credit. And we use that line of credit to buy property in areas that we want because we're doing this as a group. Now, of course, as that group, you're going to incorporate, you're going to have share structures, you're going to have lawyers. None of this stuff's going to be done on a handshake deal, but you're going to have an understanding of how to exit if you want to exit, an understanding of how long an individual can, or you're also going to have an understanding of estate planning. If I die, does my wife become a partner or do you immediately buy me out? These things you put together simply with a lawyer and you draw it up and everybody's happy. And every property you go into, like let's say you're buying properties, let's say you buy a property in Florida and a property in Houston, right? As a team, you're going to register an LLC or a corporation in each and every one of those potential jurisdictions, and you're going to get a lawyer in those jurisdictions to represent your interest, a real estate lawyer, and you're going to draw up your equity split. You're going to draw up your trust agreement of how you're doing that. Right. And you're going to have also an agreement of how decisions are being made. Right. You got 5 guys, but 2 guys are real good real estate guys. You say, yo, we're going to let you 2 make those decisions, but we're going to want to know information. But you guys, we're going to give you guys the right to run with it. Let me tell you, lots of communities do that. So one of the things that people don't know about me, I was a licensed mortgage agent. And I still do mortgages and I don't have a license. You know how I do that? Because I have groups that actually do what I just described. People who actually have funds and a dude manages the fund. And I know the dude. I tell everybody I'm the plug. If you want anything in Toronto, I'm the plug. I'm the plug. I'm telling you, I'm the plug. But this dude, him and his name is Ash. When people come in and they're looking for, and this is another aspect of method, right? So we moved from where to buy, how to buy as a group, and now this is a different method. Ash is a fund manager. What Ash does in the city of Toronto is his fund actually lends money as a second mortgage to individuals who are buying properties and need a second, or they need a private first. Why would they need a private first? They need a private first because they don't qualify with a bank and they need now expensive money to finish off their deal. They're going to walk in there requiring at least 25% down, but Ash will step in and recover you for the other 75% if your house is in a particular area. What's Ash going to do for you? He's going to charge you an exorbitant amount of interest, right? Because that's his business. He's going to charge you a strong interest rate. He's going to charge you a lender's fee. You're going to have to pay his lawyer, and you're going to have to pay his assessor to assess the property, and his assessment's always going to come back a little lower because he's going to keep himself safe. He's not a dummy, right? He's not going to tap you up to 85% loan to value. He's going to put you at 70% loan to value, and if your house has a market If the market says it's worth 700, Ash might say it's worth 650, right? He's going to keep himself relatively safe. But what am I saying to do with Ash? Not to buy a home with him because it's expensive. What I would do with Ash is I would say, Ash, I have $100,000. I want to put it in your fund. What am I going to get? What is the rate of return I'm going to get? He's probably going to be able to give you an 8 or 9% rate of return on your 100 grand, right? Because he manages a fund and that's the rate of return he gets on his money. Now, Ash's situation is once I give you money, that money's burning a hole in his hand, right? So he has to be always putting his money out. He can't keep the money because it's not making interest. He has to be putting it out, but he has to be putting out safely. And so this speaks to method. What is another way to do real estate? Become a lender. Become a lender. How do I become a lender, bro? I don't have money like that. Yes, you do. Let's say you're a homeowner. You've been in your house for the last 10, 15 years. You got some equity in your property now. You go to the bank and you say, Mr. Bank Manager, I'd like to get a home equity line of credit, right? A HELOC, a home equity line of credit against my property. The bank manager says, okay, we're going to give you $250,000 in a home equity line of credit. What are you going to do with that $250,000? He's going to give it to you at current rates. Let's say it's at 3%, right? Let's just make that number up. You now know, and you're paying that money. That's your 3% annually. That's not 3% monthly. That's 3% annually. So you can borrow $100,000 from yourself that comes out of your own property, and you can borrow that money at 3%. And we're just using 100,000 just to make this thing easy for us to calculate, right? It could be more, of course. You can lend that $100,000 out at 9. You can lend it out at 11, right? Because Ash is going to take that money and he's going to lend it out for you, right? He's going to, of course, need to be paid. So if you're saying I need 9 on this, he's going to lend your money out for 12. He's going to make 3 plus whatever. So you're now in a position to put yourself together and give money to a guy like Ash, who has his own group. And you potentially, if you have a relationship with him, of course, you need to have a relationship with him. You need to have a contract. You need to have all these things done. You could be making 9% on your money. But let's say you don't trust Ash. I don't know Ash. Why would I give my money to Ash? Become Ash. So what you would do is you would get a lawyer, a good lawyer, a real estate lawyer, or a good accountant, and say, this is what I'm going to do, Mr. Accountant or Mr. Real Estate Lawyer. Do you have anybody that comes to you any time looking for seconds? All the time. I do seconds all the time. Well, do you mind me leaving some money with you, or having a scenario where if you are in a position where somebody needs a second, you call me first, but make sure the property is proper, and I'm going to pay you for that service, right? So Mr. Lawyer, second lawyer, or Mr. Accountant, again, people who deal with money, who see that other people have issues and they need to have their scenarios helped sometime. They can say, yeah, I have some people who have money and I can give you a second. The lawyer and the accountant knows he's going to make a fee on that, right? If that person needs $300,000, the lawyer's going to charge his lawyer fee. He's going to charge probably another fee on top of it, meaning your a broker fee, and you're going to charge a lender fee. So the lawyer's going to get paid $1,500. He's going to probably charge 1% as a broker fee because he is the broker, and you're going to charge 1% as a lender fee, right? So you're going to make $3,000 right up front, because if you're lending the $300,000, you're going to make 11% on your money, right? So adding to that 1%, that's 12% on your money, and you're going to make 1% when they pay you back. No one's giving you a better deal than that in the stock market. You're going to be going to the stock market trying to make 4, 3, 2. If you got a retail investment advisor, he's not promising you anything more than 3%. 2% is inflation. If he's beating inflation, he's doing his job or her job. So when you take these things into consideration, when you take things into your own hands, when you start to find specialized people, there are much better ways, methods, I'm in the method area, to make money. And lastly, when you build as a team, and I call it building credit as a team. When you build credit as a team. This is what happens. Like I said, that initiative where you've got together, you put your corporation together, your people together, and that corporation has now got a line of credit. It's now borrowing from the bank. That corporation is building credit. That corporation is building credit. Absolutely. Right. And we can talk about the tax consequences of that in another time, but let's just talk about making the money first. Okay. Building as a team. Number two, that might be too sophisticated. That's why I wanted to start with some of you guys who think you know everything and start really sophisticated. That might be too much, right? What could you do at this level where you don't have money like that? You don't have a group of people like that. I'm going to tell you what you can do. You can have a job and you can have a hustle. You can have a job and you can have a hustle. Let me explain my scenario. I have a job and a hustle, right? My hustle is like a job too. And people know what a hustle is, but I'm gonna tell you the legal hustle. I ain't gonna tell you an illegal hustle, but a job and a hustle. So I've got a job that I basically, I go there to work at a particular location. People who know me already know where I work. They met me there. And then I have a hustle, and my hustle is essentially still a job. However, I've packaged it in a way where I'm a consultant, which means that I get paid. I don't get any tax taken off. I get paid my straight fee. I invoice and I'm paid all of my money, right? No taxes, no deductions, no nothing. I've got a hustle. That's in a corporation. And so I got my regular job. With my hustle, I can write off most of my income. Most of my income can get written off. I can almost take all the money in my hustle and I can put it in my pocket because I know that I have enough expenses, or I will make them, to make sure that my hustle, I don't have to pay taxes for my hustle. My job, taxes just come out. So, but what I found, this is what I found. My hustle is what keeps me alive because my hustle now is gross money, is all of my money, right? Where my job, I can work, you can work for $50 an hour, you can work for 10 hours, you make $500, and you're like, but how much is that going to be taken off in taxes? And in Canada, you've got something called CPP, you got EI, if you got a union dues to pay, if you got benefit dues to pay, you got a lot of stuff coming out of there, right? So the best way to duplicate or to build is to duplicate yourself in a hustle and a job. A hustle and a job. The best hustles are places that your labor doesn't have to be there. Your labor doesn't have to be there. You're doing it based on services. So it's a service you're providing. And I'm just giving you a type. I have so many. I can't talk about all of them. I got a lot. I'm a guy that I can do a lot of things. You can call me and I can get some stuff done, period. I mean, even people, and I'll tell you, I'm going to give you a hustle. Let me give you a way to talk about a hustle for me. People tell me all the time, Dell, I love your style, right? I went out the other day, dude saw my hat, saw my stuff, said, man, I love that style. Oh, man, where you get it? Where can I buy it? I know where he can buy it. I know exactly where he can buy it. I'm not telling him where he can buy it. I'll tell him he can get it through me. And once he gets it through me, I'm gonna top up a price on it. It's nothing for me. I can get it easy. No problem. But I'm gonna give him service. I'm gonna make him feel customized. I'm gonna measure him out. I'm gonna deliver it. I'm gonna make it in a beautiful package. I'm gonna make him feel like, oh my gosh, wow, this is something I couldn't have got on my own. And he probably couldn't have because he don't have the plug. I'm the plug. But I'm not giving away information for free other than this, because sometimes when you give stuff away, it comes back. Because I got a lot in my head. I can give you this. But I'm not giving away stuff that I can say, hey, that's a service I can provide. I can literally provide this service. So if you have a plug that nobody else has, market the plug, baby. Market the plug. That's your hustle. Or a skill you can do that few people can do. That's your hustle. And market your hustle. Don't just easily tell somebody, yeah, I went to here and I went to there. No, become a middleman. There's nothing wrong with being a middleman. A great middleman who takes care of stuff for people that guy provides a service. Because people say, man, I can just go to this person and they can get it. Somebody called me the other day and said, I'm looking for this purse. I can get that. I got you. I'm the plug. I got you. Same day I got it. Same day. I can get stuff. I have accumulated that network in Toronto where I can run hustles in that area, where if you're looking for something, you're looking for a service, you're looking for a commodity, I can provide it. And once you now have that level of hustle, let's say something silly, like a lady, you know, a girl that does hair real good. She does hair real good. And she's cheap because she just started doing hair. I'm just using this as an example. You say to her, girl, you know what? I want to get you some clients. She said, really? Yeah, I'm gonna get you some clients. But this is what I want to make a deal with you. Okay? I'm going to charge the client, and then I'm going to pay you. Once the client shows up, you're paid already. I'm going to send you your money. But you don't know what you're charging the client. Right? Now, the problem with that scenario is my girl might say, hey, what did they charge you? Oh, girl, no, come directly to me. But she's going to mess herself up if you've got the flow going towards her. But if she's comfortable with a hustle like that, become a middleman. A middleman is a strong individual, a middle woman, when they put their business together properly, because you're providing services, information, you're making it easy, you're making it clean. Be the hustle, be the plug. Okay. Also, going forward from a job and a hustle to joint venture deals. Now, this is the area where I excel. I met a couple. I saw him on here earlier. Vegas, I saw you here, bro. You took off, but I saw you here earlier. So Lucky joined. What's up, So Lucky? Obscure scholar. Good to see you. Good to see you. Listen, the hustle. Listen, the joint venture deals, right? A joint venture scenario is like this. I want to do a project. I'm doing a project, like people see, I'm doing this project that inviting everybody to come out to the Drake, 1150 Queen Street. I want everybody there on the 29th, and it's going to be big. It's going to be beautiful. I've got people coming to do performances. I've got a great DJ. I've got a beautiful crowd of people coming. You're going to enjoy it. It's a singles event. It's going to be fantastic. It's a beautiful venue. State-of-the-art venue. It's going to be lovely, right? Lovely. But watch this. Why would I do that by myself? I just met I met this dope brother the other night in Vegas, right? He's an event man too. So I'm like, yo, this dude's an event man. I'm an event man. I'm the plug. He's the plug. Why don't we team up? Why don't we put our stuff together? He's doing what I'm doing. We're in the same city. We can share. I met another dude the same night. I had the same conversation. I'm like, yo, listen, I've got a link. You've got people. You've got your hustle. Let's put this thing together. Let's see if this can work. Him and I are going to have a conversation about it, but let's see if that can work. Joint venture, when you find people doing similar things to what you're doing, why are you trying to do it by yourself? Man, Jesus came here and found 12 dudes to do stuff. He's Jesus. He found 12. He could have said, I'm going to get one dude. No. He said, I can get 3 or 4 dudes. No, he went and got 12. He went and got more. Jesus had like 120 disciples at one time, because even God understands the power of network. Some of us don't understand the power of network. Let me give you a breakdown of that, right? And this is how I met Vegas the other night. So we're going to a spot after we finished work, and we're like, we don't want to go home. Me and my boy Armel, we're going there. Armel ain't even on Instagram. Armel, that's another thing. You need all your social media. You need all your networks. You need everything that is they're giving away free. They've given me a free platform to promote and to talk. It's free, and millions of people are on it. Why wouldn't I use it? It's free. If 1 or 2 people see this, if I can continue to share this for weeks, for months, for years, it's free. I'm not giving away platforms. This is a platform. People don't use Instagram properly, don't use Facebook properly. People say you're too old. You're old, you're on Facebook. People don't use Snapchat properly, don't use WhatsApp properly, and all the other things. This is a platform to promote your marketplace, bro. And so why not use it? Unless you're running from the police or something. I don't know. But I met with Armel the other day, and he was supposed to get us into this spot. And he's taking too long, man. I was like, yo, you're going to get us in? I knew the dude too. And I went and talked to him and said, hey, listen, man, we've been out here. Get us in. Guy gives us 2 tickets. Boom, we're in, right? Armel couldn't get us in a timely fashion. But because we were together, he's trying, I'm trying, boom, we get in faster. But I'm in there, I'm thinking, I ain't going to spend more than $50 on drinks in here. I'm just going to do a little drink. I'm good. I'm hanging out. I don't want to go home yet. I feel like it's early. I'm not tired. So he gets in there. He meets Vegas and another brother. And they're like, yo, we bought drinks. You guys are just coming and having drinks. Now, let me just break that down. It sounds simple to you. Network. Me going by myself, I would have got in. But I would have been buying drinks. Me with Armel gets in. I get in. We hook up with Vegas. Vegas says, hey, man, come over here. I already got drinks. Gives us drinks. Vegas says, what do you do? I do this. I've got this venue. I got that whole thing on lock. He goes, well, I do that too. Well, let's put something together. So you see the power of network, how it's exponential? And that's what I'm talking about. Many of you, lots of you, especially women, like women today, you guys, I'm not trying to diss, but there's a whole lot of women that are doing makeup. There's a lot of y'all that are doing makeup. I don't know why some of y'all don't put your whole hustle together, because I don't know if that works. I'm the worst person for that. I don't know nothing about the makeup business. I'm just talking about teaming up. Sometimes to me, it seems like we can team up. You know, the church conversation. You got 10 churches on the same street, and they all got 10 members. Why don't all those places just team up? Why don't people just decide to do joint ventures together? All right. Talking about that. This is my next point. I met an African brother. He has this product. Oh, shoot. I should show the product. Don't go away. I got the product. I got it somewhere. Okay. I got the product. This brother created this sport watch. He created it, right? He got it made. He was working with a company. He says, man, I can do this. And he found out the manufacturer, which is where I'm going next, right next, in China. And he got this watch made. Got all the functionality. Now, the problem was he didn't have the marketing for it, right? And so I'm still on venture, and I'm going to move to this in a minute. So he got in touch with me, and I looked at it, and I said, I can make that work, bro. This is what we're going to do. And I gave him a breakdown of what I wanted. He showed me all the schematics. He showed me all the different styles, right? Because I don't like this style. This is not cool. This is not going to make people, want to wear this. And he said, now this is the one information I will give to you. This watch, this sports watch, right? That does everything that your Samsung Health or your Apple Watch does, except it doesn't have a speaker like Apple Watch, but it does everything else. This watch, you can basically make this watch for $12. $12, right? That's your manufacturing for $12. Another $3, you can package it. So $15, boom, you've got a product, right? But in order to make this product, right, we talked about venturing. He found me. He teamed up. We're going to team up. This is what we had to do. And this is my next conversation, right? And it was into the area of now. We went from real estate. We went from job and hustle. We went from joint venture. And I was talking about services industries. So you got entertainment. You've got makeup. You've got other things too, maybe photography. You've got a lot of things in there. And that's a good next conversation too. Makeup and photography person. I met a great young lady in makeup. She has a team up scenario with her photography person. So they do makeup and photography together. They're a team now. They teamed up, joint venture. This is my next point. You got to have China in your back pocket, right? You got to have China in your back pocket to create products. This is the era where lots of stuff can get made. China is not very far anymore, right? They're on the internet. They're a WhatsApp group away. Yes, because that's how we connect with our manufacturer. We have a WhatsApp group, and we have conversations in our WhatsApp group going back and forth. We know there's a time difference, and we're now developing our product, our conversation, our process, everything. We're developing that in China. But China's an interesting area, right? But still, I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But I see now everything I see, I'm thinking, can I make that? Right? I see nice glasses. I see everything. I'm thinking, can I make that? Do people want that? Well, why don't I make that? How much do they want? How big is the market for people to want that? Why don't I make that? Why don't I make it with my own name on it? That's how I think now. I don't see anything and say, oh, geez, I want to buy that. No. If I want to buy it, somebody else wants to buy it. I don't see things and say, I want to buy it. I see things and say, I want to make that. I want to make that. I want to mass produce that. Amazon and all these things have given people platforms to sell. So you can now sell. Facebook Marketplace, sell. You can sell. You have a platform. You don't need a brick and mortar anymore, meaning you don't need a physical store. You can sell right out of your house, right out of the trunk of your car. You can sell, but you just need the product. You need to make that. And people see stuff all the time. We're an online generation. COVID helped us get there real fast. People want stuff that they can get online and they want it fast. Can I make it? Can I get it to you quickly? Can I get paid to do it in a safe manner? Right? You got to have China in your back pocket. You got to be able to create products in a Chinese market and get that, keep that in your back pocket, right? Because people, you can't have people, you have to just tell everybody, but this is the factory I use. But this is the other part about China, right? I'm trying to do something special with this watch here. I'm going to make a watch that does something that no other watch in the world can do. That's my idea that I'm not telling you. This is my problem with China. Once China realizes, oh, shoot, that's what he wants us to do to the watch. He wants us to make it like this. We can make it like this. And once I say, hey, you can't sell to nobody else. Don't worry, my friend. We won't sell to anybody else. Absolutely, they will. The whole knockoff market is run by who? China, right? They're making everything knockoff. So what do you have to do? Once you give China your idea, once they make it and have a mold for it and have a template for it, you better run fast. You better run fast, because as quick as they make it is as quick as they're going to sell it to somebody else. They're going to show it as one of their product types. So just because I make a prototype watch, and this watch can sing me to sleep, right? Let's say that's it's not it, but let's say it's it. It can sing me to sleep. And they put that functionality in this watch. They're not just going to sell it to me. They want to give it to everybody. Right? So you got to run quick. You got to put yourself in position to have things patented and copywritten. And then, hopefully people won't be as quick to copy it, because trust me, you don't have time to sue everybody. You don't have time. You got to just be first to the market, flood the market with your name, market it, make sure that people know yours is the real one. And then when everybody now starts to copy it, you're saying, yeah, that's a copy. That's a copy. And you know the funny thing about this is, and it's crazy, because, and ladies, I'm gonna speak to you. I'll tell you right now, I got a purse plug. I can get any purse. I can get any purse you want. Okay, absolutely, just exactly like the real thing. Any purse you want, right? I can get the bag, the box. I'm gonna hand it to you with the tag on it. You gonna be like, this dude went and bought me a purse. Yes, I did. Connect me, any purse you want. This is what I'm saying. You can get it all if you got China in your back pocket. You got China in your back pocket, you can get it all, baby. You can get it all. anything you want, any purse you want, any purse you want. Yeah. So like I'm saying to you, you got to have China in your back pocket, and you got to be ready to go, 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 go. Now, the hard part about manufacturing and the hustle is how much product do I have? How much product? The thing about it, how it starts off is units. So I said to you that this, after I make this watch, I'm making it for about $15, right? That's 100 units. So that means I need $1,500 to make this watch at the unit price that I'm discussing. All right, so now let's just do some math. Now you got to be smart, because I was in a situation where I was in a relationship. I had a store in this relationship, and the person I was in a relationship with, they were selling products cheaper than I bought them. And I had to get in there and be like, what's going on? Why are we losing money? What are you doing? How much is it? You can't. I bought that for this price. American, you're selling it for this price. Canadian, you're losing money. You think you're selling it for more than I bought it for, but you didn't do the conversion. You didn't think of a lot of stuff. You didn't think of the transport. You didn't think of the duty. You didn't think of a lot of stuff. So your markup's too low. And so let me talk to you about that before I go into marketing. Markup is huge when you're dealing with a product, right? This is the three things you got to think about with markup. With markup. Number one, you got to know your value. You got to know your value, right? I used to have a mentality that I'm not getting out of bed for less than $1,000. Why? Not running down there. If I have a job, I got to go work for. And that's why I'm a bad employee. I'm a terrible employee if you're going to pay me chicken money. I'm a bad employee because I'm gonna say $20 an hour, $20, bro. I spent an hour here. You're gonna give me $20? You know how many? No, I could have made $500 an hour. Like, my brain is big. Like, I don't need to stand here for $20. I don't need to do. You got me labor intensive for $20. You gotta know your value. Let me give you a quick story. This clown hired me to work in his construction company. I'm not going to say the name of it, but it's a clown-ass construction company. And I left my hustle, because remember, I have a job and a hustle. I left my hustle and said, okay, well, I can make more money with this guy doing construction. He tells me he's going to build with me. He wants me to manage. I'm good. But you know, people see me. I'm fit. I'm strong as a bull, but I'm of a certain age where if you're hiring me to do labor, you got a smart dude who's got old knees, old joints, old back. You want me to do labor? You're not using me right, bro. You're not using me right. I'm not a labor guy. I'm a guy who's supposed to help you see things that you didn't see, manage your crew, get everybody working and efficient. You want me to do labor? You're stupid. You're not using me right. So I went out there thinking I was going to be like a supervisor, which is what he told me. And this cat has me out there like running around in the cold doing labor. Like, I'm not doing labor with dudes who barely got a high school education because they have to do that. God bless them. I'm not hurting on them. I'm not hating on them. But I don't have to do that. You didn't tell me to come here to do that. But now you're talking to me crazy, and you're talking to the wrong dude crazy, because remember, it's a 6'7", 275 gorilla that slapped you back into your senses, and that didn't go well for him at all, right? And I'm a kind of guy. You start messing with my money, which he did. It's not going to work out for you. I'm just going to say that. Didn't work out for him. Did not work out for him well at all. I don't even know if that company's around right now. But so I'm saying you got to know your value. First and foremost, if you're going to make something, if you're going to do something, if you're going to be an individual that's out there doing a service or creating a hustle, you got to say to yourself, what am I worth? What do I want to get out of this every time I do it? Right? That's where it really starts. That's where marketing starts and markup starts. So a watch like this, right? And I got to know, second thing I got to know my competitor. I got to know my value, my competitor. So if Apple has a watch, I know I can't charge Apple Watch prices. No matter how much I tell you, I don't care if it does 10 times more things than Apple's watch does right now. You're not going to buy my watch from on Apple. I'm not Apple. I haven't been in the marketplace. I don't have your trust, right? I don't have the consumer buy-in. You don't believe the value is that. So I've got to know my value and I've got to know my competition. And I've got to position myself, and this is the last part. Know your value, know your competition. Position yourself right. If you position yourself too low, you'll always be a discount dude. If you position yourself too high, people will look at you. Who do you think you are, bro? You're gonna keep that. You're gonna keep most of your stuff. You don't want to keep this. I don't want 1,000 units of this sitting around, so I'm giving it out for the next 10 years of Christmas. I want it out of here. I want it gone. So I've got to create something and position it right. And I've got to know, am I going to be happy with that? Right? So check out my plan for this, just to give you an idea. My plan is 10 million units. 10 million units. I want to be able to move 10 million units of the watch that I will create from this template. I'll make it look better. It's going to look better. It's going to do something that no other watch can do. I'm going to let you know. But I want to be able to say, I know that I can put this in the marketplace and I can get 10 million units will be sold. 10 million buyers will take this. That's my thought. That's my mind for this. And then I set a price for those 10 million units, because what am I trying to do? I'm trying to make a certain amount of money, right? That's how I think of it. Now, let me say this too before I go too far. Ooh, Lord, almost lost myself. I'm not about making money. I'm not about making money. Let me say it again. My agenda is not to make money. My agenda, I never have a money-making agenda. Never. My agenda is to be an influencer, right? And so I said, this is how I say it though. I said it, that's how y'all say it. That's how secular people write. I don't want to be a billionaire. I want to be a messiah. You understand me? I don't want to be a billionaire. I want to be a messiah, because a messiah can create billionaires. I don't want to be a billionaire. I want to be a messiah. But what I also know is that messiahs have to eat, right? We've got to create streams, systems, thought processes that cause industry, community to flow, to move, to function. We got to be architects of thought, architects of process, architects of protocol. We have to be engineers of circumstances and techniques and strategies. That's what I want to be. This is my father. My father told me this. And that's why even when my sister and I are playing around, I don't let her talk crazy about my dad, because my dad told me the greatest lesson he ever taught me in my life. And I'll teach it to all of my kids, all of my friends. The greatest lesson my father ever taught me, greatest thing, the greatest sentence he ever said to me, he says, son, get paid for your brain, not your body. Get paid for your mind, son. Make sure your mind is what people are buying. Don't just sell watches. Bill Gates was selling computers. Was he? Was he really though? Right? Our guy who died, who was the founder of Apple, right? Was he really selling technology? You're buying into that guy. Why is Elon Musk? What is he really? What is he selling? What is Elon Musk selling? Teslas? Does he really want to buy Twitter because he wants to own something that people talk on? No. Elon Musk has a bigger agenda than that. And I don't know what it is, but I know it's bigger than just robots and rocket ships. It's much bigger than that. His brain is bigger than that. And I'm letting you know, I'm not interested in simply just being a billionaire. Who just wants to have a whole lot of money lying around? I want to be a Messiah. I want to be able to tell somebody something that'll change their life. I want to be able to speak to Sweden, and Sweden can interact with Nigeria, and those guys can build a bridge of some circumstance that can come together. Marinez Herente sent you a request to be live. Sure. You want to be live? Who are you? Let's be live. Go live. What's up? What do you want to talk about? What do you got to sell? Don't know. Maybe they just pressed the wrong button. Oh, what's up? Was it an accident? You wanted to be on here? Did you got something? Huh?
No, man.
Oh, okay. You didn't really want to be here. Okay. Okay, the brother Chance thought he had something to say. So boom, moving back on. Marketing, right? You got to be in a situation where you don't underestimate having true marketing professionals before you start looking for money people. If you're going to do things big, you're going to do things really big, don't look for money people first before you look for marketing people. Ask me why. Ask me why. Because money people want to hear the marketing plan. They want to hear the strategy that you got. They want to understand what you're putting together and know that you have the capacity to make it work. Teamwork, doing it better together. Yes. Getting down with the developer. Yes. Patent. That's what you need. You need a patent if you're going forward doing anything. Sister Yvonne, you need a patent. Sometimes a patent, just to go back to what you're saying, a patent is not even, people still going to make it. China's still going to make it. They're still going to sell it. And you're going to go chase these people for your patent. You might not get it. So that's why I'm saying you got to run to the marketplace, flood the market with your stuff, flood your marketing, back to my point, with you. Let me tell you something. Do you guys remember Rubik's Cube? You remember the Rubik's Cube? Does anybody remember that little cube that you and you turned it? For those from that generation, we remember the Rubik's Cube. And then we also remembered the knockoff Rubik's Cubes. And we didn't want to, they did the same thing, but we didn't want to play with those because they weren't Rubik's Cubes. They did the exact same thing. They're made of the exact same thing. They had the exact same patterns, but they weren't Rubik's Cubes. And because they weren't Rubik's Cubes, we didn't want to play with them because Rubik's Cube got into the market and made it that this is a Rubik's Cube. That is something that looks like a Rubik's Cube and does exactly what a Rubik's Cube does, but it's not a Rubik's Cube. And you want to be that. You want to be a Rubik's Cube. You understand? You want to be an individual that hits the market with a plan where money people can look at your plan and say, oh, this is a good plan. I like this plan, right? Also, marketing has this to it. Marketing's not just talking and saying, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. Marketing has implementation, says, listen, not only do I have a plan, I have put some things out there and realized that these areas don't, and this method here doesn't work. I've tried it. I've done some in-field study. I've checked out a few markets, realizing this is their complaints. This is what they didn't like. This is how they felt it could serve them better. So when you step to money people, you say, listen, not only do I have an idea, not only do I have a product, not only do I have a manufacturer, not only do I have a strategy, I also know the markets whereby we don't want to even go because I've tested it. I've tested it out. All I need you to do is put some money behind this thing so I can get some units so I can push it out. Got to have a marketing plan before you know the money people. Not everybody knows money people, except the plug does. The plug knows money people. Let me tell you a little story. He's on my Instagram, and he doesn't even know this probably, but I'm not going to say his name because of that, because I like the boy, and I just don't want to say anything that's going to make him, his family, or anything look crazy. But there was a basketball player in Toronto who was about to get drafted, And his family was in a position where they said, hey, we're going to give you a shot to have a conversation with him. And I said, well, I don't just want to have a conversation with him. I'm going to put some money people together that are going to bless him in advance of the conversation. They're going to bless him well in advance with 7 figures, well in advance, so that when it comes the day of, sign on the dotted doggone line. We're going to get our money to him. We're going to get our money to somebody else and make sure that it was time to sign on the dotted line. It was time. So I put together a whole company. I mean, a whole company, an agent. I had financial planners. I had estate planners, investors, and I just needed one more piece. I needed a money guy because I needed to be able to put $6 million into the hands of the gentleman's family. And I did it. I found that person. I sat down. We had the conversation, had the deal, had the check in my doggone little hot chocolate hand. And the day that the family was supposed to come in and sit down and lock in the deal, same day, that kid signed with another agent. Just blew up, right? I'm stuck with a company. I'm stuck, everything built for one person. I'm stuck with my money person, had their money ready to go, everything. But the fact is, I had the capacity to put that deal together because that's what I can do. I'm a put together dude. I understand how those things flow. I'm going to finish with something in a minute, but I'm almost done. Where are we? 9:08. Almost done. Here we go. I'm going to move quick. Entertainment industry, that's a cash business. You want to make money fast? You want to make money on a cash business? Entertainment. That's fast money. That's good money. That's cash. But what you need for cash, you need people that you can trust around you, right? So that you can, because you're going to be handling cash. But entertainment, that's fast money, cash money. Many of you on Instagram can be in the entertainment business. You don't know how to network. I'm gonna move quick. The establishment needs you more than you think. Do you realize that there are so many bars, clubs, hotels, structures in downtown Toronto that have old money that owns it, and those places are empty after COVID? Empty. They need you. They need you to fill these places up. They need you to do stuff in there to get the blood flowing back into these particular places. They need your rent money. They need your crowd. The establishment needs you more than you need them. So a lot of you don't realize that. Can you bring a crowd? Mr. DJ, oh boy, the most powerful dude right now in the entertainment industry is a DJ. A DJ can make things happen, but can you bring a crowd? You are your crowd. Your business, your service is your crowd. Can you bring your crowd? Can you bring your community? So I have a brother here. He's got a community of dudes around him. Ricky's crowd is his business. He can use that. He can put that crowd in a multiple amount of places, and that crowd can make a business work. All right. IG followers. That's a business, right? If you got IG followers, you got a business. You got a business plan, right? Right there, you know. Listen, this is, I got 2 last points and I'm done. And I know a lot of you will disappear, but you're going to get this on the replay. You've got to live how you feel. When people see how I dress and how I put myself together and stuff like that, they might think, oh, this guy's eccentric. This guy's a show off. No, baby, this is me. This is who I am. I live how I feel. I drive the kind of car that makes me feel who I am. I wear clothes that makes me feel like who I am. I decorate my condo, my life, feel with who I am. My children dress and carry themselves the way that I feel who I am. I live how I feel. And so what you have to be an individual that even when things aren't happening for you, people look at you and say, yo, that dude looks like something's happening for him. That woman looks like something's happening. Live how you feel, because you know what it will do? It'll make you hustle harder. It will. Don't go buying a hoopty car. Buy the nice car, because then you'll say, I have to hustle to keep this car. Go buy a nice condo. Go buy a nice house. Go put on a suit and walk the street in that. You will hustle harder. You'll put yourself together. Why am I wearing leopard kufi on my head? Because I'm a king, my friend. And it will make me walk like a king, talk like a king, act like a king. And the last thing I've got to say, don't worship money. That's the last thing I've got to tell you. That's why I said to you, I'm not trying to be a billionaire. I'm trying to be a messiah. Don't worship money. This is where the term money comes from as I close. And you can go on YouTube and look at my series on the history of money. Dell K. Brereton on YouTube, the history of money. Okay, Dell K. Brereton on YouTube, the history of money. I've got part 1 and part 2, but this is what I'll talk to you about. Money, the worship of money was something. The word money comes from the Latin word monetas. Monetas. And there was a goddess by the name of Juno in the Roman pantheon of gods. And in order to worship Juno, you had to offer her monetas. Monetas. It was a system of exchange of worship. You were taking your value in worshiping the goddess with monetas. And now we in English call that money. And that's why Jesus said it like this. He says the love of money is the root of all evil, because it becomes monetas unto you. You're your own personal God. Be careful with that. That's how I'm going to end this. Don't worship money. Money's supposed to serve you. You ain't supposed to serve it. Money's supposed to come to you, because you're supposed to create a lifestyle where people will run to you and say, we require your assistance. We require your brain. We require your face. We require your voice. We require your presence. Or sometimes we require your labor. But put yourself in a position where monetas must run after you, but you are not running after monetas. That's all I got for you tonight. This is it. Do not have poor people problems. Poor people problems are individuals who don't have the things that I just put together for you. You have now the ingredients to change things around you. If you don't have a job right now, don't go to sleep. Put out 100 resumes every single day. If your resume ain't working, have somebody look at that resume and change it up. Change it up. If the resume still isn't working, walk out there and talk to people, meet people, tell people, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. What kind of company do you work for? Listen, I'm here to put some things together. Network, team up with other individuals and network, put some strategies together. And if it's all not working, you get on your knees and say, God, give me the mindset that I can affect this world, and I will not be chasing wealth, but wealth will be chasing me. It's about to change your life. That's my time. We'll be back Wednesday. You know my crazy topics. I got my 2 sisters coming on Wednesday, and we're about to turn up on Wednesday. Look at the ad. Do you need a toxic man in your life? Every woman does. We're going to talk about it on Wednesday, but thanks for joining me tonight. Good to see you. Melly Mel. What's up, Melly Mel? You see you late, Melly Mel. You're going to have to watch the replay, but I'm out, and good to see you, okay? Have a good night. Good night to everybody, too, on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. This is Dell, Uncle Dell, and I will tell.